What's this? Hmm? What's this? Hmm? What is this? Davion? Hmm? You already stole the original. You already have it, right? You have it, you're producing it, and you also further develop it. So what's this for? Hmm? It's got the same weight, the same function, same weapons, similar weapons, basically the same look. And yet, you made this still. And you also gave it the usual Davion flair by and make it like far too expensive for what it is. Why? Hmm? Is the cataphract too cost effective for you? You instinctively you just have the instinctical need to waste money, like how you wasted tens of hundreds of thousands of lives just to get back at the celestial one. This guy sacrificed thousands of his own people just to get back at one man. Then he did it again a decade later, but thankfully the Combine humbled his ass. The better people here, they're stealing what is ours from we the lesser people and appropriating it for themselves. This is literally what the Romans did, right? Hell, this thing has a Roman name. Is it because you don't want to admit that we made something good? Is it too lowly for your mighty FFC? Can't let the people see that our warriors, piloting these. So, because if it did, it would be admitting that you can't make mechs, that we made something good. We cannot let the people know that the competitors beat us at something. Cappies don't know any better. Well, we did. Right? It was good enough for you to want to clone it. You think this is a great insult? No, it's not. They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Well, you flatter us instead with this. You even at insulting, you fail. The planet Adex was one of those worlds that saw repeated changes in authority throughout centuries after the Star League collapsed. In one moment, it could be a Combine world, the next, a Capellan world, but it finally settled as a Davion world, for several generations at least. The Johnston family made their fortune from their prospecting and forestry businesses. Sometime after the Star League collapsed, the family decided that they would like to enter the defense industry, the military industry. They entered an auction for control over companies that collaborated with Stefan Amaris and won the auction for Talkin Weapon Systems, a manufacturer specializing in armored vehicles, atmospheric fightercraft, and personal weapons. The family made a fortune producing military weapons during the Succession War, supplying weapons to the militaries of the planet's current owner. However, the Succession Wars had steadily reduced the company's manufacturing due to the destruction of assembly lines. It was only after the Federated Sons took firm control over Addix that Johnston Industries was able to rebuild and expand its business. Traveling over to New Syrtis, the company began construction of a new manufacturing facility, one capable of producing Balamex. Production only began after 10 years when construction of the factory was completed. For the next 7 years, the New Syrtis plant produced Balamex license from Defiant Industries, namely the Hatchetman. Now, around this time, Team Banzai had been hard at work at the new facility, presumably designing the coming Axeman, essentially a larger version of the Hatchetman. New weapons development will always be shrouded in mystery so as not to let enemies discover what is being made. Around this time is probably what the Combine, maybe even Comstar. Anyway, to keep the Axeman a secret, the government, presumably, ordered the company to develop another mech in parallel with Banzai's design. The Axeman was known to use parts from across both the Lyran and the Sun's half of the Commonwealth, with some Capellan parts as well. This coming smokescreen design will have to follow the same notion, but at a lower cost, presumably, so as not to take resources away from the X-Men's development. So, by using the seemingly unwanted cataphract inherited from Tikhonov as the base chassis, the development of the Kaiser began. The Kaiser is built on a new Darwinian CES standard chassis rated for 70 tons. I'm gonna have to assume this chassis is directly based on the cataphract chassis since, well, this thing is based on a cataphract. But anyway, the engine size is also the same as the cataphract, 280, probably same brand as well, but it is of an XL make. Now usually I save the armor to the end, but the cloning continues to its armor. It is the same Callan Royal Star Standard armor that could be found on the cataphract, but it's only at 10.5 tons. So this is objectively weaker than even the cataphract prototype. They just can't help themselves from making something weaker but also more expensive, can they? I pity these people who pilot these things, who pilot for House Davion. It is armed with a Johnston high-speed long-range particle projection cannon, a Poland main model A Gauss cannon, and 4 Sutel precision line medium pulse lasers, with the pair on the chest pointing backwards, just like the cataphract. The closest cataphract in terms of cost, performance, and year of release is the 3L. The weapons are almost the exact same, save for the Gauss, and yes, the 3L is slightly more expensive and it doesn't get case. It does 5 less total frontal damage, but you do get mask, more armor, and more ammo for the ballistic weapon. Fine, right? This Kaiser kind of beats that one specifically, okay? Damn it! These weapons are targeted with the Randar Point HY fire control system and cooled with 16 double heat sinks, while the communications are done through the Johnston wideband. Now, while it is not as protected as a cataphract, the Kaiser can flip its arms around rearwards. This allows it to fire all of its medium pulses as well as the ERPPC backwards, allowing it to do almost as much damage as it would do shooting at the front. Right, fine. This one is objectively better than the cataphract, then you win this one, Davion, just once. Just once! You win this one. It wasn't my intention, but during the test game, it became a pincushion. I really tried to have it stay back so I could use the Gauss rifle, but the clanners, I fought clanners, they just beeline for the Kaiser for some reason. Like, they just ignored everybody and just beeline for that guy. Like, it eventually died because, like, an LRM shot by something, I forget what I was fighting. Set off, the Gauss rifle got set off by an LRM shot, which blew up and destroyed its engine. But when it was still alive, I'm pretty sure it took down 2 mechs, if I remember correctly. One was with the ERPPC. I remember taking out a gyro. The other one was with a Gauss. I think that sheared off the right torso and sent it to the ground, and then the pilot ejected. But the first, that's I think around 8 turns, it was like the only thing they shot at, and it took like at least 80 damage. And it tanked 80 damage pretty damn well, actually. The one time they got through the armor, though, was when they set off the Gauss rifle, so that was just pure bad luck on my end. Just to maximize damage and hit potential, I'd say you use this as like a mid-range fighter. Also, you can comfortably alpha strike every turn, no problem. Introducing the Gertrude, Lieutenant Hannah McQuartus's personal Kaiser. Now, Gertrude here is just another 3R, except for the fact it carries 8 ER mediums all pointing forwards. That's 65 damage, including like the PPC and Gauss. That's a lot of damage. Maybe that is how she single-handedly defeated a Whitworth, a Griffin, and 2 Blackjacks. I don't know how she did it, because I couldn't do it. The TRO said her right side was damaged as well, so that I think she was also missing an arm. I was using like a fresh Gertrude, like a pure 100% Gertrude, right? I gave myself a couple of tries to fight off like the Whitworth, the Griffin, and the 2 Blackjacks. I gave myself a couple tries, right? Some in tiny maps and others in big maps, and I could not, for the life of me, even kill one of those guys. This lady's exploit here, this is a good example, alright? A pure example of Davion bullshit propaganda piece, okay? Do not believe it, right? If it were real, Gertrude would still be operational. It's not, alright? Hannah, right now, as of right now, or at least after Gertrude, she piloted a 4R, a new 4R. But anyway, yeah, the mech itself, well, it can do a lot of damage, but I didn't get to see that because I didn't get to see, 64 damage in one shot because I didn't want to overheat. I did not want to overheat by like 20 heat, especially when you're fighting 4 people, because I gotta keep moving. Even then, even when I kept moving, I didn't overheat. I still couldn't do what she was doing. Probably not the best test session, but you get what you get. I decided that to be the test session, and that is a test session. Here's Marcus Giovanni. Doesn't he have a story? He was a scion of like a rich family, destined for life doing, rich people things. But his true calling was to be a MechWarrior. So he secretly bought his Kaiser. I don't know why he bought a Kaiser, could buy anything else, but he bought a Kaiser, one he named Archangel, and went off to the New Avalon Military Academy. However, his family found out and immediately cut him off. After a single year, he was forced to drop out. He didn't have any money anymore, so he went to Outreach and signed up with Demon Screamers, some low-grade mercenary band, who then took a contract with the Draconis Combine while the Death to Mercenaries edict was still in place. Soon after, Clan Smoke Jaguars came running through. The Screamers were destroyed. Running up all the remnants of the former military company, Giovanni formed his own mercenary group, the Avanti's Angels. During this clan period of his career, Archangel took the form of a Frankenmech, with limbs from a dragon, a thunderbolt, and a Hagetaka. Wonder how that looks like. There was also that one time where he challenged a Ghost Bear warrior, MechWarrior, in a Kodiak to a duel, to then just run away. The enraged Ghost Bear clanners chased him, while the civilians he was originally evacuating got away. Afterwards, he took his band of mercenaries down to the Chaos March, then later the Magistracy of Canopus, where he slowly rebuilt Archangel with clan parts that he scavenged. While the rebuilding was going on, Giovanni piloted a Warhammer that he also named Archangel. Come up with a different name, man. What are you doing? The Kaiser Archangel is armed with an Omega 12 coil Gauss rifle, a Type DDS Kingston Extended Range PPC, 3 Colibri Omega Series medium pulse lasers, and 2 Sutel Precision Line medium pulse lasers in the rear. He also fitted an extra heatsink and an extra ton of armor. Aside from the 2 rear mediums, it is basically just a normal 3R with clan weapons. There's not much to report on this one. Again, it's basically just a 3R with longer range weapons. I did get to a position where I could do Alpha Strike, though, where I could shoot both front weapons and rear weapons, so that was something. Following the end of the Civil War, the Lyran Alliance took a look at the Kaiser and thought, hey, we want some of that. And so Johnson Industries created the Lyran Spec 3S variant. The 3S is built on an endosteel chassis with a light 280 engine powering it. It has 4 fewer double heatsinks, but it is protected with 13 tons of light ferrofibrous armor. Its weapons loadout isn't too different from the original model. The 2 arm mediums and gausses are retained, but the PPC has been upgraded into a heavy model, and the 2 rear medium pulses were replaced with a single ER small laser. It also carries a Guardian ECM. I think this was like an attempt to copy the Cataphract 4L. Like, they still copying. They are still copying from us. Are these guys' problem? They can never be original, can they? I tell you, If I get my hands on these people, they die one. I'm sorry. Seems that my Chinese ancestors got out there. Did you know I'm a quarter Chinese? No? Well, now you do. Anyway, because the weapons are basically just upgraded versions of the same thing, they pretty much play the same medium to long range role. Right? The 3S is a lot more survivable, at least because of the thicker armor. But again, even with that, like if the Gauss in the torso goes off, like even with case, it will take out the whole mech out because of the light engine. Because the light engines that are not standard engines, they stick out to like the side torso. So if you get a critical hit on the Gauss, that thing blows up. Even with case, there's a very good chance it will take the engine with it, which will just, take out the mech. Even if like the rest of the engine's fine. Up until this point, right? Up until this point, this writing, not a single Kaiser has survived a battle. And it's mainly because of the Gauss keeps going off and destroying the engine. That's just like a big problem for mechs with these type of engines. Coming off the apparent success of the 3S model, Johnston Industries followed it up with the 4S. The 4S removes the ECM and replaces the light ferrofibers armor with 12 tons of standard armor. It's a downgrade. The slight reduction in durability is to make space for a heavy Gauss rifle, a large pulse, 2 medium pulses, and 2 ER medium lasers. This does an extra 6 damage for like frontal weapons over like the 3S. Now I did not know this because I never use it, but if you do not brace the mech, shooting the heavy Gauss will require you to do a pilot roll to avoid falling over from the recoil. This thing is so strong, the recoil is so strong that even a mech can't handle it. That's pretty wild. But to be honest, I'm more surprised by the fact that when I shot the leg of like a Sagittarius, doing the full like 26 damage, the damn leg still had like 13 armor remaining. How thick is the leg armor of that thing? Like, geez, 26 damage and you still got a big chunk of armor still left. My goodness. But anyway, for as long as you still have ammo, I would say keep this thing as a sniper because you need to brace. You actually need to brace so you don't fall over or whatever. And when you brace, you're kind of locked in a position. So yeah, keep this as a sniper, I would say. When the Gauss runs out, which is not too long, it has like 3 tons of ammunition, which is like around 12 shots. That's when you go in so you can, use the rest of your weapons and your energy weapons. But anyway, Johnston Industries also introduced the 4 series to the Davion market with the 4R. The 4R is directly based on the existing 3R, but comes with new ferrofibers armor, 11.5 tons of it, and a mask system. They had to take away 3 heatsinks though to fit the mask and the armor. The only differences in its weapons over the 3R is that the ER was replaced with a snap PPC. The 2 rear medium pulses are now 2 frontal ER mediums, while a single ER medium replaces them as their rear protection. Beyond that, it is pretty much the same thing. Up until this point, aside for the 4S, literally all of them play the same thing. I mean, this one you can kind of play as a frontliner. I guess technically you can play all of them as a frontliner, but even more so for this one because of the snap PPC and also the mask, so you can like close in the distance quickly as possible and then, go crazy at close range, I guess. You can shoot like all your weapons bar 1 ER medium without overheating, so you just gotta keep that in mind. This Kaiser in general is just a rather unremarkable mech, really. That actually plays to his lore, but we'll get to that later. And so the Kaiser stayed the way it was for quite a long time, actually, generations. Johnston Industries continued production of both models, each bound for the different halves of the former Federated Commonwealth. Even after the full dissolution of the superstate, the company continued to serve the needs of each state with the Battletech. Generations passed before the company decided to revamp its first Battletech with new technologies. In the so-called Dark Age, the company released the latest 5 Series models. The CES 5D was designed in collaboration with Clan Seafox. Johnson Industries handled the mech's construction while the Clanners took care of its weapons. The 5D is built on an endosteel chassis with an XL gyro and is also powered by a supercharged XL engine. Talk about a cost increase, my goodness. Its myma muscles were strengthened with stronger fibers and are protected by 26 tons of hardened armor. That's a lot of hardened armor. Hardened armor is very good, man. I like hardened armor. The weapons are entirely based on clan technology, with a clan ERPPC, 2 clan medium pulses, and the biggest one of all, a Hyper Assault Gauss Rifle 20. Now, for some reason, they also installed talons on its feet. I didn't even know that was a thing, but its feet's got claws. Cooling all these downs are only 10 Innisphere double heat sinks. Now, I think this is a given with mechs with hardened armor. You just rush in, man. You don't have to. But with the supercharger and the TSM, not to mention the claws in his legs, I think this was definitely designed with, close range combat in mind. That being said, I completely forgot about this thing having TSM, so when I was testing it, I didn't try to overheat it. It is very easy to overheat though, like you just shoot the PPC. Just shoot the PPC and something else, then you'll just overheat this thing. But yeah, I didn't get to actually test out the TSM part because, and the kicking part because, 1, because I forgot about it. 2, it died before I even got the chance to kick someone. Headshots are incredibly deadly. The D was originally slated to be produced on a factory on New Avalon, but that plan fell through. And 5D production was supposed to be conducted on the existing New Certis factory instead. But then we Capellans came and took New Certis. Ha ha ha! Only for 2 years though. Then we left. Once the Federate Sons retook New Certis, Johnston Industries proceeded to put the 5D into production, but with modifications to its weapons loadout by replacing them with locally sourced components to reduce foreign dependence and also to make it cheaper. The result was the 5R. This was basically the production model of the 5D. The supercharger and TSM were removed, and clan weapons were also swapped out for a local snap PPC, 4 ER mediums with a pair pointing rearwards, and a normal Gauss rifle encased in Phase 2. I didn't even bother testing this one. It is quite literally the 3R, but way more durable, so just use it the same way you would as a normal 3R. My personal take is to use it as a mid-range fighter, but maybe you have a different opinion. What was supposed to be a smokescreen turned out to be something that the Federated Sons and the Lyran Commonwealth appear to have come to rely on. In its first 2 decades of production, Johnson Industries struggled with sales, with pilots commenting that while the mech was of quality, it was rather unremarkable, especially for the price it was asking, which was in the tens of millions. Many passed it for more proven designs by manufacturers with lasting legacies. The good old Marauder comes to mind, maybe even the Orion. Johnson Industries wanted to improve sales, and the Civil War brought the opportunity. With the sundering of the Federated Commonwealth, they now effectively had 2 markets, each with its own needs. The company proceeded to create specific models, each based on pilot input from each respective military. The 3S variant, the first Steiner variant, could be seen as like a test bed to see whether or not making specific models will help turn things around, or whether or not the company will have to sunset the mech. As it appears, the move worked. The sale of Kaiser battle mechs increased exponentially in the Lyran Alliance, proving that the strategy will work. Now, with the numbers to back up the feasibility of continuing production, the company quickly got on to make the 4 series models, each catering to the needs and doctrines of both Steiner and Davion militaries, with some models even appearing in Comstar Comguard. The Kaiser service differs in the 2 militaries. In the Federated Sons, it was mostly deployed to the Chaos March and on the Capellan border. This was most likely due to the factory's proximity to the front. Reinforcements and replacements could be called upon relatively quickly. No doubt was also to incense the Capellans, to see a quote unquote better cataphract in the hands of their enemy. On the Lyran side, the Kaiser saw significantly more dangerous actions, right? Frequently deployed against the clans, it found great success, especially when it is paired up with the Falconer, which was apparently similar enough that clanners confused them a lot. During an engagement of the Atnan Oasis on the planet of Dustball, the Lyrans were able to fight the clanners off by relying on the Kaiser's Gauss rifle while fighting in the scorching heat. The clanners were limited with their firepower since they were using energy weapons, but the Kaiser, with its Gauss rifle, could just keep on shooting and seemingly take them out and win the fight. Sales once again exploded when the word of Blake declared its jihad. Kaiser was opened up for purchase by any party opposing the religious order. The mech began appearing in multiple units, whether it be national or mercenary forces outside the Federate Sons and Lyran Alliance. The Kaiser reached its peak in popularity in Lyran space after Kaiser Steiner was assassinated. He was regarded highly by many Lyran MechWarriors. After his assassination, many pilots chose to pilot the Kaiser Battletech in his honor. Tell you what, right now, when the pilot said that this thing was, rather unremarkable, it is rather unremarkable. It's like every time I test it, I just come to the same conclusion. This is the same thing. Like even with like most of the aside from the maybe the 5 series and the 1 Steiner model, like it this kind of plays the same. It's good for what it does. Like don't get me wrong, it's just it's basically just a more expensive cataphract. Honestly, do you really need this? I mean, lore wise, they created it to make a smoke screen, I guess. But do you really need this in your lance? Like, if you had to choose this over a cataphract with this, I mean, if you need a heavy sniper, I guess a Gauss heavy sniper. It's a choice here. This is your choice, I guess. But I'm sure there's a Marauder with a Gauss rifle too that you could get. Who knows? It's just a mech, I guess. That is for this week's briefing, pilots. Thanks for joining. Let us welcome Derek Burge. Yes, we have an elite pilot. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to this elite cadre that's completely by merit and not by, what do you call that? Nepotism or bribery. All right, this elite pilots are the cream of the crop. They got here through skill alone, no money involved. Welcome, Derek Burge. Thank you for the support, for supporting the fleet. You will get a better mech. Don't worry, you won't die. All right, you will 100% will not die. The Jupiter government, the Jupiter Navy will give you a better mech. That's how it works. You want to better mech yourself? Do you want to pilot the? Do I really need to like draw up or come up with like character lore? All right, Jovian lore. We already got a flag. I barely use it, but here, that's the flag. We already got a flag. Now I just need to design like the mechs that you guys actually pilot. You and I pilot. It's gonna take a while. But anyway, if you want a better mech and not the standard, mass-produced stuff, join the fleet. You get... I need to get my perks running again because I've been laxing on that. I mean, I do share my art there, the character art there. That's your perk, I guess. I will ask Derek later. Maybe I already asked him by now about if he wants to see something extra. I know I put like a lot of stuff there, but well, turns out I can't even meet my own promises, so I'm probably gonna edit that a bit. But anyway, if you can't join the elite pilots, you can just join the normal fleet then. Click the subscribe button and even the like button, right? So that this message will spread to other peoples. So then they will also join the fleet, and we get more pilots, and we get bigger. Bigger! What? You know what else is bigger? Yes, my Discord is actually kind of small, but I'm there. Want to talk to me? I'm there. Want to see the memes I post? It's there. Do you want to talk to other people? Well, tough luck. They don't talk to each other. My Discord is such a weird place. Not really weird. It's just a very silent place where I scream. I'm basically the only screamer there, with the occasional other scream from other people. The big echo chamber, and by echo chamber, I don't mean like we share the same thing. I mean like it's actually just an echo that I can't occasionally. That mostly comes from me. Anyway, I stream my game. I mean my pilot training sessions. Yes, that's where I train my skills a lot in a lot of different skill sets, piloting, commanding, survival, that kind of stuff, right? You can watch that here or on Twitch. On Twitch, you can play noises to annoy me, spook me, whatever. Whatever you want. I got some noises there. Not my noises. Don't worry, you won't hear noises from me. Weird noises. That might come up actually. Never mind. You will hear weird noises on stream, whether on Twitch or on YouTube. Who knows? That might come up when I decide to react in a certain way. MechWarrior 5, you can get that game. Link in the description for the store, or just for whatever reason, just manually type the link you see on top of my head right now. Right? You can get MechWarrior 5 there, along with the Shadow of Kerensky DLC and the latest DLC, the Chaos Reign DLC. We're gonna get another DLC. That's confirmed. Hopefully to get more than one. But I want Capellan DLC, goddammit. Each house has its own DLC now. We got the Federate Sons, the first one, right? Then you got the Draconis Combine one, right? The War 3039. Even Rosalhaig gets a DLC. Freaking Rosalhaig. Alright? Then with the Chaos Reigns, you kind of work the Lyrans, Adam Steiner, right? So that's a Lyran DLC. And that's also like a what do you call that? A Free Worlds League kind of subplot extra bit at the end of Chaos Reign. So they get DLC. The Capellans don't get DLC yet. Get us a DLC, goddammit. We want DLC. We deserve it. Please, if you give Rosalhaig a DLC, why don't we have a DLC? It's a travesty. It's an insult. God damn it. Glory to the Jupiter colony. Glory to all my fellow pilots and Jovians. Keep up the good fight. Fight those Earthnoids. Take care. And do not die.